if they've just put out a blanket response, then they're not going to come up with a secret code, and you know that it's just been auto-generated. So that's going to save you a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of money, and that'll probably erase 10 to 20% immediately off the bat. And then it's a matter of, I also like to look at their English, if it's a writing project, or it's a project that requires good command of English and they're writing to you in broken sentences, then that's not a good sign. So use that, take every bit of information that you can and work from there. I like to also use the interface to contact them at least 2 to 3 times. See the response time it takes them to get back to you. Ask them a question or two about themselves, doesn't matter what it is. If they take 3 or 4 or 5 days to get back to you, that's a sign of their rate of work. Okay, some coders get back to you immediately within 2 to 3 hours. That's a good sign. Green light. Okay, don't post your projects on a lot of these sites if you don't have any intention of actually doing them. A lot of people go on these sites, they put a project up, and coders will come to them and tell them, oh, you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that. This is how you could do it. Why are you asking for this when you could do it? So people actually get a lot of free feedback from the sites. And I strongly recommend not doing that, because those sites will blacklist you for doing that. They call it a non-action ratio. If you put up a certain amount of projects without taking action and commissioning a coder, then you'll actually get the blacklist. So you don't want that to happen. Definitely don't post all your details. A lot of your projects that you might be thinking of posting on for your business are confidential. Okay, you don't want your competitors to know about what you're doing. All right. So what I'd recommend is putting a very, very general description of what you want, and then through the interface later on, you can then give them a very, very specific idea of what you're going to do with them. You'll need to get them to sign a confidentiality agreement, because obviously if some of the coders, when they get the information, they could probably just go and do it all themselves if you don't get them to make that agreement. So it's very important that you do that. I also like to look for new coders. Now, on eBay, if someone's brand new, you tend to sort of stay away from them. But if you are smart about what you do, you can get coders who just want to get their feedback up, but they're very highly skilled, but they don't have a lot of feedback. They'll tend to give lower prices on what you want. Okay, so that's another very good tip. I've talked about the lower developed countries. Coders from Romania and India are awesome. They are absolute guns at producing software or anything technical to do with your business that could help your clients. The more developed countries like the States, Australia, they'll tend to be good for writing, obviously for English, that sort of thing, and developing products as well. Also for graphics, if you want to get graphics done, the lower developed countries are much better for that. Cutting tasks up into 2. Got that one from Daryl Grant. She's got her ebooks written through a lot of these processes, but one of the things she does, if she's looking for a big, significant project that needs to be done, that needs to be researched, she will get someone at a very low cost to actually research it, whose English is not their first language, but they're very good at researching. So it might be your Asian countries. Okay, they tend to be very academic, very good at researching, finding journal articles and that sort of stuff, whatever it is in your industry. They will collate everything. The English is terrible, however. Okay. And then you put on another project to say, I want you to edit this project. And you'll tend to get a much better end product at a much cheaper price. Okay, it still works out for you, rather than getting that person to research and do the whole package yourself. Cool. Is that useful for you? Anyone? Yeah? Cool. It's good to get some feedback out there. Now, here's a little case study that I want to take you through. I just want to get an indication, and I hope a lot of you put your hands up, but after hearing Matt and Amanda Clarkson, does everyone here realise the importance of eBay to their business, or can use eBay in some way, shape or form to help improve their revenue? Yeah? Cool. First thing you need obviously is an account, right? So I wanted to set up an account to sell some digital products, way back. And again, I'm using my example, but you will need to take an example for you. I listed out everything that I wanted the coder to do. I wanted them to register this name. I wanted them to register an account, a bank account to my eBay account. I wanted them to create a PayPal email. I wanted them to set up Selling Manager Pro. I wanted them to buy 30 ebooks from other sellers at a very cheap price and leave feedback for all those sellers. I wanted them to do all of that for me and then just give me the username and password. Okay? Now, for me to go and do it all myself, that would take me a long time. It would be very tedious to do it. I mean, and if you're not versed with computers, if you're not, internet marketing savvy, or you don't spend a lot of time in front of the computer, which I seriously doubt any of you here would enjoy doing, then that is going to solve your problem quick smart. Okay, and it's going to get you. And by the way, I had this done overnight. Okay, for $40 on Rent-A-Coder. An account set up complete with feedback, with all my accounts linked, my listings up, ready to go, ready to do business for $40. Now consider doing that as opposed to going away and doing it all yourself. There's a big difference. So it's all about leverage, and I hope that you even take and steal that strategy for yourself today. This is what the interface looks like on Rent-A-Coder. This is just an example. Let's just have a... okay. Does this have a laser, Christian? There it is. Okay. What I have here is the bid range. Okay, I had 7 bids for that project. If you have a look here, is the name of the coder. We also have the, remember I was talking before about the ratings? Okay, it's a bit like eBay. This gentleman had 40 ratings at 9.35 out of 10. And I've communicated with him quite a few times. Okay, so I'm going to speed up now because I'm running very short of time. But that's the actual, one of the communication messages that he sent me. Okay, I'm in the top 2% of Rent-A-Coders. I'm ready to get your job done ASAP. I've been using eBay. This is my ID there. I'm willing to negotiate. Okay, a lot of them are willing to negotiate. They're willing to go lower and lower and lower because I actually sent this guy a ton more work. He's made thousands of dollars working with me. So be always switched on how you can maximize your long-term relationship with that coder. So I want to wrap up by saying, where do you, as a business owner or manager, provide the most value? You need to look at your hedgehog concept. And again, coming from Jim Collins, and I'm going to go through this really quickly before I wrap up. The hedgehog concept is a concept in Good to Great where Jim Collins studied 500 or around 500 of the most successful companies in America over as a longitudinal study over about, I think it was about 50 years. Okay, he took the best of the best, and he came together and he put together a hedgehog concept. And basically, it consists of 3 things. What you're absolutely passionate about, okay, as a person, what you have to offer, what drives your economic engine, and what you can be the best in the world at. This is, I'm having to speed through this, but these 3 circles, where they intersect, where you're absolutely passionate about, you get up every day, you fight up about what you do, you can help millions and millions of people with your product or service, what you can do the very best at, you don't want to diversify or pollute what you're doing, and what there is a need for, what drives your engine. Where those 3 circles intersect, that is your hedgehog. So that is what you should be focusing on. I talked about the hedgehog and the fox. Okay, foxes all over the place. Hedgehog stays here. They do one thing, they have a vision, they do it really, really well. The internet marketing business trap. This one relates to what's going to happen when you actually go home after this. What you're going to have is you're going to have probably at least 10 things that you want to get done as a result of these 2 days. After 3 months or after 2 months, you're going to have 10%. If you invest your time evenly through the projects, you're only going to have a very little amount done. Okay? 30 days later, you'll have 20% done and no income. 60 days, you'll have 50% done of all these and still zero income. What I want you to focus on is the 2 or 3 that you can drive to completion quickly so that you can start making money and then focus on the others, okay? And that just, I guess I wanted to touch a little bit on mindset because that's very important when running an internet business. I'm going to finish up by telling you a little bit more about those, for those who want a bit more information on taking this seriously and really powering through in the next couple of weeks. I've got about 2 minutes, so I'm just going to really fly through it. I'm going to offer a CD and DVD seminar of me speaking to a closed group of people. I share a lot of strategies that I wasn't able to share today due to time. There's also a DVD that I offer where I capture a screen cap of myself taking you through a personal tour of all my favourite sites. I tell you how, what to do, when to do it, what not to do, and where to stay away from. I'm going to offer you my swipe file, basically every contract, every agreement, every price guideline. You shouldn't pay more for certain things than other things. There are certain brackets you need to stay into. All my templates, my step-by-step checklist, I'm going to include that, throw it in. I sat down with Gail. She basically said, Wes, make sure you improve, you add a lot of value to help people who are serious about taking the next step. You're also going to get a secret report that I found that was that will absolutely blow your mind. It is how to outsource all your projects for free, okay, and it is still ethical and legal. There's ways that you can do that strategically. I've also just launched a membership site with Andrew Grant. Andrew talks to you about how to get rid of the subconscious blockages that are holding people back. But on top of that, I've interviewed 10 to 20 of Australia's wealthiest people. Personally, I sat down with them, I said to them, tell me what you do, how do you do it, what are you thinking, who are your mentors, all those kind of things. We take them, we absolutely grill them, and we share that with you in that program. You're going to get 3 months of that. Now this year, I wasn't sure whether I was going to offer or not, but I will. I'll throw it in for you guys. I interviewed 4 people who run 7-figure businesses, both offline and online. And they have allowed me to use the transcript of their interview. They haven't allowed me to tell you who they are, and they haven't allowed me to give you the interview, because if their competitors found out what they were doing, obviously it would really stop the advantage they had. But it is in a transcript. You don't miss out on anything else, and I'm going to include that for you just today. Now, I also want to provide support for those people who are wanting to implement this on a long-term basis and would like the hand-holding. Okay, now you can take away what I've spoken with you today, and you can run with that. That's fine. You actually do really well, and you'll be able to do a lot more than what you did if you didn't hear what I had to say. With this personal critique, you will get a personalised, I sit down with you, ask you what you want, where you're headed with your business, what not to do, what you're doing good, what you could have done better. I'm going to personally critique it for you for your first couple of proposals. I'm also going to give you 3 lifelines. If you're on the line with a coder or you're wanting to find out something, you get personal access to me 3 times. Give me a buzz. If your manager or person you get to assign to this wants access to me as well, they do as well, anytime that you need help. And I'll also be running a 4-week Skypecast teleconference. So for those of you who do come in today, we're going to be getting together on a weekly basis. We're going to be nutting out all our problems. I'm going to get you guys to do a lot of strategy, have a look at your hedgehog concept in detail. I'm also going to be keeping you accountable and basically giving you a kick up the butt if you're serious about implementing what you've heard today and what you've heard in the last 2 days. So all that's valued at 1788. Today it's just